They thought seizing her little garden would show their power, but they never imagined the very seeds she planted would grow into their downfall. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, Emily's garden wasn't just soil and flowers, it was her sanctuary, her life's work, a piece of her soul. But not everyone admired her paradise. The HOA board saw her garden as a violation and an opportunity to flex their control. One morning, a paper was taped to her door. In bold letters, "Remove unauthorized garden or face penalties." Emily's hands trembled as she read the words. They thought fear would break her. Instead, it fueled her resolve. Emily whispered to herself, "This garden isn't just mine, it's my legacy." At the next HOA meeting, Emily stood tall. She spoke with fire in her voice, defending her right to nurture life on her own land. But as she walked out of that meeting, one board member leaned closer and whispered, "You'll regret this. We always win." That night, Emily planted new seeds under the moonlight. With every handful of soil, she was planting defiance and a storm the HOA never saw coming.
Days later, HOA inspectors arrived unannounced, snapping pictures of her garden like it was a crime scene. Some neighbors whispered support, others looked away in silence. Fear of the HOA's grip kept most of them quiet. Instead of shrinking, Emily's garden grew wilder, brighter, fuller. It was as if the earth itself stood beside her. A final letter arrived. Failure to comply will result in seizure of property and fines. They weren't just after her garden anymore. They wanted everything. Late that night, Emily found documents slipped under her door, proof that the HOA planned to rezone the land and sell it for profit. She realized it wasn't just about rules, it was greed. They wanted her garden gone because beneath it lay more value than anyone imagined. They thought seizing her garden would be simple, but Emily had uncovered their secret. And now, the fight was no longer about flowers, it was about justice. Emily knew she couldn't fight alone. She began knocking on doors, sharing the HOA's secret papers. Whispers turned into outrage. Soon, her garden became more than flowers. It became a banner of resistance. Neighbors started bringing their own seeds, planting beside her. But the HOA wouldn't stop. They filed fines, threats, even warnings of foreclosure. Their power seemed endless. Emily took the fight higher. She filed a legal complaint, attaching the secret rezoning documents. Suddenly, the HOA was under investigation. Neighbors who once stayed silent now stood with her. Yard signs popped up. "Save the garden! Stop the HOA!" In court, the HOA tried to argue rules and regulations, but Emily's lawyer revealed the truth, the board's hidden plan to profit from her land. The judge ruled against the HOA. Not only was Emily's garden protected, it was the HOA board who now faced heavy penalties for fraud. Emily returned home to her garden, no longer just her own, but a victory for the whole neighborhood. The seeds of defiance had blossomed into justice. They thought seizing her little garden would show their power, but instead it revealed their greed and buried their empire in the very soil they tried to steal.